It's amazing to think where it's possible to build structures, from skyscrapers in deserts, homes perched on cliff edges, and even facilities deep underwater. But in many ways, the most impressive are the ones that seem to blend in seamlessly with nature. Tree houses are a great example of this. Whether it's something intended to fit in with the surroundings or stand out like a work of art, they're some of the most spectacular structures of all. Let's take a look at 15 of the most spectacular treehouse builds. Number 15. Minister's Treehouse, Tennessee. Once believed to be the largest treehouse in the world, the story behind the Minister's Treehouse in Tennessee is just as impressive as the structure itself. In 1993, a local minister called Horace Burgess had a dream one night in which God told him that if he built a treehouse, he'd never run out of material and would be able to complete his grand vision. Spurred on by this promise, he got to work on his designs the very next day and would continue working on the project during his free time for the next 14 years. By the time he had finished, his treehouse, which was built around an 80-foot or 24-meter tall white oak tree, was itself 97 feet or 30 meters tall, and needed to use another 6 trees that surrounded the main one as extra support. Inside the 5-story structure were a reported 80 rooms, including a church and a bell tower, and perhaps the most amazing part about this is that he only spent $12,000 on it, and never ran out of materials that he needed. Unsurprisingly, the treehouse became somewhat of a tourist attraction, with visitors traveling from far and wide to see it for themselves. Eventually, though, the authorities had to step in and declare it as a fire hazard, something that turned out to be a wise decision, because in 2019 the entire structure burned to the ground, possibly due to being hit by a bolt of lightning during a storm. Number 14. The Hemlock Treehouse, Whistler. Normally, you'd expect the best treehouses to have been built by master carpenters and designers, but the stunning Hemlock Treehouse in Whistler, Canada, had only just started out in his career. At the time, he was living in his car, and this led to a competition with one of his friends about who was able to find the strangest and most unusual places to sleep at night. He soon began having a dream of a home in the forest of his own after countless nights underneath the stars, and this is how the idea of the egg-shaped hemlock first came to him. He chose a remote piece of government land and began to collect materials from the surrounding area and from people online. Astonishingly, he was able to gather $10,000 worth of supplies without spending a dime. And this was plenty enough to build the dream treehouse with his assistance of a woman who would later become his wife. He lived there for a while, but when it was time to move on, he didn't know what to do with it, especially as he didn't own the land that it was on. He donated it to the Canadian Wilderness Adventures Company in the hope that others would be able to benefit from it, and for now it's been dismantled, and the plans are for it to be put back up in a more permanent location. Number 13. Mirror Treehouse, Sweden. If you want to stay in a treehouse in the woods and truly be at one with nature without anyone else knowing you're even there, then the Mirror Cube at the Tree Hotel in Sweden is probably your ideal place. The cubic structure is built upon an aluminum frame that's fixed around the tree trunk, and on all sides it's covered in a reflective glass that from most angles make it almost impossible to see. On the inside it's decorated with a beautiful birch surfaced interior and offers ample space for 2 people, with a double bed, a toilet, a lounge area, and a rooftop terrace. There are 6 large windows that grant a stunning view of the surrounding area, and it's the perfect retreat for those looking for some privacy. Access to the treehouse is via a 12-meter or 40-foot long walkway, and you don't have to forego all the modern conveniences for a stay there. Wi-Fi is provided for guests, and there are several separate structures, a short walk where you'll find showers, a sauna, and even a restaurant. Number 12. Yellow Treehouse Restaurant, New Zealand. Sometimes it takes an unusual idea to allow designers to truly come up with their most imaginative works. So when an architect's company was approached by the Yellow Pages in 2009 to create a one-of-a-kind structure for a reality TV advert, they let their imaginations run wild. The concept of the ad was that they would create a fully functioning but unique restaurant, just by using products and contractors that were found in the Yellow Pages. It didn't take long before the architects realized that the treehouse was the way to go. They soon found a huge redwood tree to the north of Auckland, New Zealand, to build it on. Based on a simple oval shape that wraps around the tree, the design incorporates ideas of dreams and playtime, fairy tales of imagination, and protective cocoon, and was amazingly complete within just a few months. Inside, there's space for 18 seated people, as well as a bar, with the kitchens and toilet facilities at ground level. Made from glue-laminated pine wood, plantation poplar, redwood, and steel to keep it sturdy, the finished structure is 10 meters or 33 feet wide and 12 meters or just under 40 feet tall. It may well have begun life as a radical idea for an advertisement, but once it was completed, the Treehouse became a well-respected venue in its own right and went on to function as a proper restaurant for far longer than had originally been planned. Number 11. Playa Viva, Mexico. Playa Viva, near the town of Huluchuca in Mexico, is a luxury eco-resort that has gone to extreme lengths to have as minimal impact on local surroundings as possible. Every room is within its own independent structure that's built from locally sourced materials, and by far the most impressive is the cylindrical-shaped treehouse that looks straight out across the ocean. Built in the palm trees and suspended at 6 feet or just under 2 meters above the ground, it has a surprising number of features that mean you could quite easily spend your entire vacation within it. There's room for 3 people and a king bed and a single bed, as well as a private bathroom and a lounge area that has an in-floor hammock. Furthermore, there's a day bed that's ideal for relaxing in the sun and room service that can bring any food and drink you need directly to you. While modern in design, the treehouse looks as if it's always been there, almost as if it's a collection of fallen trees that have merged together. It's truly a spectacular structure, an ideal place for a beachfront getaway. Number 10. Free Spirit Spheres, Canada. Designed by a company on Vancouver Island in Canada, Free Spirit Spheres are a type of treehouse that crosses the divide between a place to stay and a piece of art. Each one is unique and suspended from the treetops with a series of ropes that ensures it's being supported by at least 3 trees at any time. With an evenly distributed load, there's, in theory, no limit to how high they can be lifted, with the only restriction being the means by which you access it once it's installed. Taking the inspiration from a type of nut that grows locally, the spheres, because of their shape, are extremely tough, but are lightweight too. The designers have incorporated ideas of biomimicry from the shape and the way that they're held in place in a similar way to the strength of a spider's web, and probably most importantly, the installation of one of these tree houses causes absolutely no damage to the trees that hold them in place at all. They are made from either wood or fiberglass, and the interior can be designed in a variety of different ways. The company has a number of them available for hire on site, but also offers a bespoke design service to anyone who has space for one of them on their property too. The hope is that by creating elegant living solutions like these that have minimal environmental impact, they'll help people appreciate their natural surroundings while preserving them for many years to come. Number 9. Silky Oaks Lodge, Australia. When you're planning to build an eco-retreat in one of the region's oldest living rainforests, then you have to be creative with the structures that you install. And in the case of the Silky Oaks Lodge in Queensland, Australia, the choice was to put everything on stilts, high up within the canopy. Situated by the Daintree River in the Daintree National Park, the owners wanted to give guests an unparalleled experience without affecting the ecosystem that surrounds it. This means not blocking the natural paths towards the water or building anything permanent that can't be removed. The treehouses proved to be the best solution. Featuring a number of suites, a spa, and a restaurant, all of which have stunning views of the rainforest, the lodge has only used construction materials that have been sustainably sourced from nearby, and even grows most of its own produce, so it doesn't have to be imported. The region was previously heavily logged up until the 1900s, and it was a concerted effort in the 1990s that saw around 200 endangered native rainforest species being reintroduced, and this kickstarted its recovery. Now, from the treehouses, you're able to see 74 species of mammals, 150 species of reptiles, and more than 330 species of birds. Knowing that while you're doing so, you're also helping to preserve this special place for generations to come. Number 8. Fort Treehouse, Canada. Located in a mass of fir trees on the shoreline of Lake Muskoka in Ontario, Canada, Fort Treehouse was designed by architect Lucas Kos, and it looks like a Japanese lantern floating in the sky. In reality, of course, it's sat atop 4 stilts, which are perfectly positioned in trees, and despite the treehouse's large size, its impact on the environment has been kept to an absolute minimum. Instead of drilling into the trees as a support, it's instead connected to each of them with just one high-strength steel cable, ensuring that there's no harm caused and that the trees can continue to grow. While it may not sound like much support, it's more than enough to hold a 410 square foot treehouse, which weighs in excess of 2 tons, firmly in place. The lattice-like skin around the treehouse was specifically designed to act like a tree canopy and direct sunlight towards the interior spaces, while at night it works in reverse, with artificial lights inside helping to illuminate the entire structure and make it glow like a lantern. Amazingly, there are 3 levels within the treehouse, which visitors can freely walk between, and from each one there's a spectacular view of the forest and lake, and it looks amazing from both inside and outside. This truly is one of the world's most impressive treehouses to have ever been built by anyone, anywhere in the world. Number 7. Finca Bella Vista, Costa Rica. Deep within the pristine rainforest near the Pacific coast of Costa Rica is Finca Bella Vista, an eco-friendly treehouse community over a 600-acre protected site. The idea of the place is that individuals can build their own structures and then rent them out to tourists when they're not staying there themselves. It is an extremely remote place, and one where you'll certainly feel like you're detached from the wider world, and is probably the most impressive collective of treehouses you'll find anywhere. Each structure is unique, as it's been designed around the particular trees that support it and its location within the community. Water is collected from rain and natural springs. Electricity is produced by solar panels, and there's even a biodigester that takes care of any waste that's produced. All of the tree houses are connected by a network of suspension bridges and zip lines. There's a central community center where meals are served and where communal events take place. Not only is this a spectacular place to stay during your time in the rainforest, but there's a variety of different activities nearby to enhance the experience, such as walks, wildlife expeditions, and the use of a stone-lined pool. If being at one with nature and experiencing a one-of-a-kind place is the sort of vacation you look for, then there's surely no better place than to try Finca Bella Vista. Number 6. Natural Selection Skybeds, Botswana. Natural Selection is a company that organizes unique safari tours across Africa, but probably their most stunning packages on offer include the use of one of the 3 skybeds in Botswana. Located within the Kauai Private Reserve, they are 3-story raised platforms that are discreetly built against trees. On the first floor you'll find the bathroom, on the second floor is the dressing area, and on the top floor is the bedroom, which has a double bed and is completely open to the elements with the night sky above you. It would be quite easy from this position to spend your whole time staring upwards at one of the most star-filled skies you'll ever see, but the vantage point is also perfect for looking down towards the nearby watering hole, where countless different species go for a drink. With regular sightings of lions, elephants, hyenas, wild dogs, and many more, this is one treehouse where you'll be getting very little sleep overnight because there's simply so much to look at around you. It is undoubtedly one of the most spectacular ways to see the natural world, and bound to create endless memories that'll stay with you for the rest of your life. Number 5. Treehouse M China. Known simply as Treehouse M, this incredible structure was designed by 2 Chinese graduates of Cambridge University and built within a woodland resort in Anhui, China, offering 430 square feet or about 40 square meters of floor space in the interior and a further 323 square feet or about 30 square meters on the veranda. It's high up in the trees surrounding Mount Kian and offers a stunning view in every direction. Despite being designed to be open to the world around it, the remoteness of the structure means that it's extremely private and features everything you need to be self-sufficient in your solitude. Access is via a wooden walkway which leads to the central hallway, where the first rooms are a bathroom and a dressing room, and at the far end is where you'll find the master bedroom. Designed to have a minimal impact on the surroundings, the main structure was made up of 8 modular frames that were made from timber and steel off-site and lifted into place, meaning very little construction was needed at the actual location. Combining traditional and modern design techniques has led to the designs of something very eye-catching, with an inverted roof structure that forms a gentle M shape. With a secluded bathtub on the terrace and huge amounts of glass paneling to allow natural light to filter through the entire interior, during a stay here you'll feel as if you're living in the tree canopy itself. Number 4. Treehouse Point, Seattle. When a couple from Seattle embarked upon a dream to move away from their urban lifestyle and start a new life closer to nature, not even they could have imagined how things would turn out. Peter and Judy Nelson had soon found an ideal 4-acre piece of land in the Snoqualmie Valley, which they bought in 2004, and on walking through the plot at night, saw a beam of moonlight shining down onto a particularly impressive giant spruce. They saw this as a sign that a treehouse needed to be built on the spruce, and that it would become the first structure of a venue that's now known as Treehouse Point, and that offers a range of different treehouses for guests to stay in. Each of the 7 tree houses have taken about a year to construct, and each are a perfect blend of rustic design with modern features. It's become a family passion now, with their eldest son training to be a master carpenter, and following their success with their first site, the family have now opened another 3 venues, as well as taking on bespoke projects for clients who want a stunning treehouse in their own properties. It's their creative design while still ensuring the structures are practical as possible that makes each one of their treehouses truly special, with meticulous attention to ensure they blend perfectly with their surroundings and make the best use of the available views. If you're ever in Seattle and looking for an idyllic retreat for a few days, you surely can't do better than this. Number 3. Yoki House, Texas. The incredible Yoki Treehouse was designed by architect Will Belars and can be found 25 feet or about 7 meters high between 2 old cypress trees above a creek in Texas. Forming the centerpiece of his sustainable tourism retreat, guests are able to stay in this spectacular creation and relax as all their stresses simply melt away. Named after the Hopi Native American word for rain, the main part of the elevated structure offers 500 square feet, or about 46 square meters, of interior space, along with a smaller structure on the ground that functions as the bathhouse. To get between the two, there's a 60-foot or 18-meter-long suspension bridge through the trees, and a number of dedicated paths and decks on site to make it all feel like one continuous space. Entry is through the roof of the treehouse, which also acts as an observation deck, from where a spiral staircase leads down to the front porch, where the 2 cypress trees can be seen growing through the structure. The interior is decorated with pine, birchwood, and concrete fittings, and you'll find a kitchen, sitting area, and a loft bed in the bedroom, as well as an onsen-style bathtub in the bathhouse. Number 2. Teahouse Tetsu, Japan. Some tree houses look like they've come straight from the picture pages of a fairy tale, and that's never been more true than with the Teahouse Tetsu in the Kiyoharu Art Village in Hokuto, Japan. It was created by famed Japanese architect and architectural historian Terunobu Fujimori and was built with the assistance of several other well-known artists who only used traditional construction methods. Intended to be used as a tea house, it's minimalist in design and simply tries to offer a unique space to sit, relax, and talk with friends. Look out across the surrounding village, and at the right time of year, the stunning cherry blossoms on all the trees all around. Made of materials that include earth, wood, and stone, and built on an 80-year-old cypress tree, it's 13 feet above the ground and has 60 square feet of interior space, complete with sliding wooden doors and shutters. It's all you'd expect from a traditional tea house, except for the fact that it's suspended in the air. And since it opened in 1983, has been one of the most popular installations at the village. Number 1. Pinecone Treehouse, Italy. The best treehouses are the ones that are a unique design or shape, but at the same time fit in seamlessly with their surroundings, as if nature had always intended it to be that way. This was exactly what the team behind this pinecone-shaped treehouse were trying to do, and it's been an astounding success. Located near the Italian town of Ugovica against the Dolomite mountain range, the inspiration for the designer were the woody fruits that the local pine trees produce. Wanting a unique space that operates outside of society and its system of control, it's suspended 33 feet or about 10 meters up in the air, with the only way to access it being via a wooden walkway. The treehouse is arranged over 3 levels, with windows offering a 360-degree view on the lower level, a kitchen, seating area, and bathroom on the mid-level, and the master bedroom at the top. In the roof of the treehouse is a circular skylight, which lets the sun's natural rays beam in. Really comes into its own at nighttime with an astonishing view of the starry sky. The frame of the structure is made up of a series of boomerang-shaped elements crafted from cross-laminated timber that's covered in overlapping pieces of shingle cladding. As you'd expect from a place billed as an eco-retreat, all of the construction materials were sourced within a 15-mile radius of where it was built to both ensure it fits in with the surroundings, but more importantly, to prevent the risk of introducing new species or diseases to the region from elsewhere. Watch our binge-watching playlist if you'd like to watch all of our most popular top 15 videos. Grab a drink, grab a snack, and get ready to binge.